and welcome to another Get Good at Business highlight. I am your host and business coach, Taylor Proctor, here to help you get good at business so you can get back into the heart of why you got into business in the first place. And if you are a longtime listener and watcher of the podcast episodes, you know that we like to interview a variety of business owners talking about their businesses as they pertain to the I Move method so that we can all learn and grow and get good at business together. And if you're wondering what the I Move method is, it stands for intuition, marketing, operations, velocity, and execution. It is the framework that we use and like to discuss with all of our wonderful guests. And today's guest is the beautiful Lanelle Butterfield. Lanelle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So Lanelle teaches people and businesses about the 4-color personality types, how to recognize them quickly, the do's and don'ts of interacting with them so you can increase your ability to have healthy, successful relationships. Her presentation is hands-on, interactive, and role-playing experience where you come away with tangible tools to use on a daily basis that increase your relationships in all aspects and areas of your lives. The average business manager spends 30% of their time dealing with personality conflicts. Think about the power of using that time elsewhere. She's also the mother of 4 boys, 2 daughter-in-laws, and 2 grandbaby boys. Her husband and herself have also ran 3 successful businesses and recently sold 2 of them. She's learned over the years the power of understanding personalities and people and making relationships the best they can be. She's convinced she would have ruined a relationship with a child and others if she hadn't understood the color code. Now she finds great joy in coaching individuals, couples, families, and businesses to see them thrive in all the relationships and find new success that they never thought possible. Lanelle, I am so excited to dive into things with you today. Thank you again for joining us.
You bet.
So
Excited to talk about the color code.
So let's dive into a little bit of the background here, right? So
Yeah.
understanding personalities, their impact on relationships, that's all really cool. But what led you to create it into a transformative business?
Yeah. So in 2004, I read the color code book and it kind of changed my world. And I started implementing it in just with our family and day-to-day life and practical application, and found that it was so refreshing to be able to understand people differently, interact with them differently, and have good outcomes for relationships. So as we started businesses, we use the color code in every aspect of our business too. The thing that's unique with the color code versus other personality tests, because there's a lot of things out there, is it's the motive behind people. So it's their why behind people. And they're born with that. That never changes. So once you know somebody's motive and their why, you can really look past behavior and you can address their needs, their wants, and understand them differently. So it's really powerful in business. It helps employee relationships. It helps client relationships. Like every aspect, it just changes in a business setting and a family setting.
And there are 4 types.
There are 4 types, yes. So reds, their motive is power. And I love the Spanish definition of power. It is to be able to do. Reds want to get A to B. They are the movers and shakers. They're not emotional based, they're logical based. So they want facts, figures, and information. So if you know you're dealing with a red, your sales presentation and everything to them is different than, say, a blue. And a blue is based on intimacy. They want deep, meaningful relationships. So they want to know about your friends and family. Like they want to engage with you a little bit differently. They are people. They're kind of the scout motto. And so in knowing that with them, you would give a different presentation or interact differently with them than you would a red. And whites are about peace. They just want that inner harmony and tranquility. It's interesting because in dealing with white personalities in our businesses, we found that they're the ones that kind of sit in the background that you kind of have to check in on every once in a while. Otherwise, you really don't know how you're doing with them. And so, and approaching with them is a little different than you would the other colors. And then yellows are about fun, meaning they live in the moment, they embrace the moment. They're kind of the people who can walk in the room and light up the room. They're just the fun people. They know how to live in the moment and enjoy every aspects of the moment.
Beautiful. Oh, okay. I'm so excited to dive into this. And my first question for you is actually, we're going to stay away from the eye move for just a second. What
Okay.
is your color type?
So I'm actually blue first and red. I have a strong red secondary.
Mhm.
And growing up years, I didn't like my personality because I'm about relationships first. But when I went to power, sometimes I would damage relationships. And
Mm.
so then I'd spend the next couple days trying to apologize and fix the relationship because I went for power. But over the years, as I have understood the color code more and my motives, I now can be like, oh, I'm going to be red now. And I can save the relationship, but I can say and do what I need to do to be able to fulfill that part of me and still have a good outcome on the other end.
I love that. So, speaking of finding and navigating those directions in our lives, let's move into the I move method, which kicks off with intuition, right?
Yeah.
Using that to navigate and our personality types and all those things. So, would you
Yeah.
share with us a specific instance where your intuition really played that critical role in shaping the direction and the offerings of your business that we're talking about here today, which is the colorandrelationships.com?
Yeah. So I really think information helps with that intuition and all of that. So the more information you have, the better you can really deal with situations. And I have many situations in uh, having the color code then
Mhm.
be a player of it. But I've taught our employees, red is kind of the hardest color to speak because it kind of sounds harsh maybe to the rest of us. So I think one thing in running one of our other businesses that was inspirational was teaching them to practice red. I gave them permission to kind of practice and go outside of their box a little bit in addressing that and empowering them. So we have one of our companies was a property management company, and you deal with a lot of different people next to their children. Their home has their next emotional attachment to. So we would have a lot of people that were upset or angry that didn't want to pay fees if their rent was late or didn't want to do this. And so empowering the employees to actually be even sit up straight in their desk was something that would help them in responding to them differently. Even sometimes standing up, even if they're on the phone, standing up gives you power and helps you then better address the situation. And so I really think that the color code has helped provide inspiration behind a lot of our businesses. And I will tell you, they have grown and thrived once people have understood this because it helps them succeed in their job role as well as then the company succeed. And then you have better relationships with clients and people and your family, and everything works out a lot better. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I would say that.
So knowing the color code foundationally, that information can help them then intuitively know the body language or the things to say and how to navigate those relationships.
Yes. And intuitively, I've taught them if they can pick up the color, which they usually can in the first 5 to 10 minutes of talking to somebody, then it helps them know, oh, okay, this is how I need to address that person. And so it just helps with all conversations better. I was on a sales call with a man who said, tell me about you. And so I first started on our sales pitch, and he said, no, 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 tell me about you. As soon as I said that, I'm like, I'm talking with a blue personality. He wants the relationship. So he had 54 units to sign on board, which that's a big amount of properties for our
Yeah.
company. And so I ended up spending 2.5 hours on the phone with him talking about my husband and our kids and where we live and all that. And usually a sales presentation would not go that direction. But because I knew he was a blue, we had that dialogue, and he ended up signing the contract without even reading it by the time we were done.
Because he trusted and knew you.
Right. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So let's move to the M of iMove, which is all about marketing.
Yeah.
So, very cool concept here about color and relationships. What innovative marketing strategies have you implemented to really effectively reach and engage your target audience? And in that note, who is your target audience?
Yeah. So we've worked with a lot of companies. We've flown across the United States helping companies to empower their employees and build their relationships that way. And we've done social media. Our biggest thing with this company has been word of mouth, honestly. But I will say in other businesses, and this is just for information with other people, I think that there's so many marketing strategies, but I would say, I think one of the biggest things that we don't do is prepare for the phone volume or prepare on the back end. Like we can put all the money we want into marketing, but if we're not answering the phone on the other end, that money is like throwing it to the wind. And so I always make sure that whatever marketing strategy we start to implement, that we're ready on the back end to handle the volume, handle the calls, do whatever we need to on this. This has kind of been a fun business for us, I will say. So we haven't necessarily pushed it big in marketing. We're just enjoying helping people that are ready to do that in their office or their family. We actually have had some families give it as a Christmas gift, and we've done
That's
a
cool.
course with some families, and that has been fun too. But it's been really fun with businesses because once we do it with them, their word of mouth to other businesses has been huge.
Incredible. And I love that you bring up like, hey, we've got to have that back end support for the marketing because that is a key thing, which is why the O of iMove is operations. It's literally our next part. So I love
Yeah.
that you're like, hey, we've got to pay attention to those back ends, get that structure in place, be prepared for our marketing to really support us. Could you walk us through some of the other key operational practices that you've established to really ensure that smooth functioning and growth?
Yeah. So I would say in all of our businesses, you have to remember that a business is a live thing. Like it's growing and changing all the time. And so I think sometimes with some of our businesses, we've got operations in, and then after 6 months, we're like, this isn't
Change it up.
working because we've changed and we have evolved. And so I think sometimes people think, oh, here's your operations book and we're going to stick by it. We're going to do it. And that works good. But I think you have to always know it is live, it is growing, and it's changing. And in order to grow and get big, you have to grow and change with it. I will also say in operations that the people at the top are key. As an owner of a business, you are key in how that operates. And so often an owner wants to have full control or hold on to things based on fear or different things like that. We coach business owners too, because part of the operations is allowing people in your organization to actually have the freedom to grow and make changes. And as you give that freedom to them, then you're able to scale it big and get more growth and opportunities. And so sometimes we want to control things as an owner of a business, and that is not good for operations.
Definitely. It adds such a bottleneck to it. And I
Yeah,
love that you brought up, hey, your book and things of operating procedures, your SOPs, standard operating procedures, they have to grow with you and grow
yeah,
with your team. Have them have the accountability and the ability to make those edits, streamline and adjust. I think that's
yeah,
such so crucial for adding growth and velocity, which is actually the V of our iMove method.
yeah,
So beyond the operational strategies that add velocity,
yeah.
what are you implementing that really helps you maintain and drive that growth in your business? What growth strategies have you tried out?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing as an owner of a business is you have to pull yourself out and look at a bird's eye view.
Mm.
Too often we are in the day to day and you cannot see things clearly when you're in the day to day. And so a good mentor of ours once said, get away from the business every once in a while and actually think of it on a bigger scale, like pull yourself out of the day to day and look at it on a bigger picture. And I think that is key to grow and have volume and to be where you want to be is being able to not be in the business every day, but to look and work on the business from a different perspective. And that's tricky and it's hard to do. But if you can get there and get that mindset to do it, it really then is a game changer for your business. It changes from it being a really nice job to a business when you can do that.
A big velocity giving business. A
Yeah.
velocity not only to the business, but to your life as an entrepreneur and business
Yeah.
owner.
Yeah. I think a lot of the reasons why we go into business owners is to have more freedom and
Mhm.
to be able to, I mean, have time be available to us and different things like that. But oftentimes we're not. We are the ones that are working 24 hours and we're in the day to day and in the grind. So you kind of have to step out and look at what's the big bird's eye view? What can I look at? What do I need to hire? What people in place do I need to allow me to stay in the position of looking at the business from a bird's eye view?
Well, and speaking of that bird's eye view, like what is that next big initiative that you've pulled back, you're seeing for your business that you're now looking to execute on over the next few months?
Yeah. So I think with us, it is, I just, we have a drive to kind of help other businesses succeed in life. We've been able to be very blessed in our businesses and to kind of figure out how to do that. And so now helping other people do that is really rewarding and fun and see them scale and grow. And so we promote ourselves, but we also are we want to find the right people who are ready to also have the information and to grow and to build their business. But it's just fun now for us to be able to go in and help other people and get them where they want to be and honestly make their dreams come alive. That's a rewarding thing.
Oh, I love that. So, for anybody who is watching and listening and they're interested in learning more about the color code, more about you, your businesses, etc., where can they go to learn more and connect with you?
Yeah. So they can go to colorandrelationships.com. They also can reach out to us by phone, and my phone number is 801 668 1578. And they can always leave me a message. If by chance I don't answer, leave me a message because I will always get back to people. And we can customize a program for them. I love helping people where they're at and
Mhm.
to get them where they want to be. And so I think it's fun to see what their vision is and help them get there.
Well, Linnell, I definitely see that shining through in all of your answers and what you shared with us today. So appreciative of you walking through the areas of the I move method in your business and how you're working in those areas so that we all can get good at business together. So thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Thank you. It was great.
And for those of you watching and listening, stay tuned. We will have more Get Good at Business highlights coming to you in the future. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. In the meantime, remember that together we can get good at business.